Hello and welcome to another edition of Addition. I'm your host, Addy. I'm a product manager at Microsoft, a mathematician, a futurist, tech optimist, artist, and creator. And I'm here every day, Monday through Friday, bringing you the news, the hot topics in tech, an update on the markets, some career advice, as well as letting you know what I'm geeked out about this week. So before we get into the topics for today, go ahead and click the like button if you're watching on YouTube. Follow the podcast if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcast, or subscribe. If you want to get these podcast episodes directly into your email inbox along with my detailed show notes, subscribe to the free Substack. It's additionpod.substack.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Addy or follow the podcast on Twitter or TikTok at AdditionPod or Instagram at Addition with Addy. So I don't have many followers. However, I know you all are listening because I see the stats. So I would really like you all to show up in full force. Let me know that you're listening and that you're appreciating the content, and follow me on social as well as subscribe to the Substack and the YouTube. So thank you so much for all your support, but I need to know that you all are listening because right now my most popular videos on YouTube are like my makeup tutorials and not the Addition episodes. So if you are watching or if you are listening, please leave me a 5-star review on the podcast player so I at least know that you're enjoying the episode, and definitely like all the videos that you're watching on YouTube. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into the markets. So crypto markets, Bitcoin is up 3.49% over the past 7 days, hovering at 29,399. That's still a pretty low price. So 7 days ago, Bitcoin must have been super low because on the day, in the past 24 hours, it is down 0.64%. But as I mentioned, it's the decline is slowing. It is possible we're bouncing the bottom of crypto right now. So Ethereum is up 0.08% in the past 7 days, so almost negligible, but that's good. And it's hovering at 1,952. I know we're all looking for Bitcoin to be back over 30,000, back over 40,000. Definitely Ethereum back over 2,000, ideally over 3,000. But they're moving in the right direction, so that's something to be grateful for. Moving on to the stock markets, the S&P 500 is down 0.16% in the past 5 days, and the NASDAQ is up 0.47% in the past 5 days. It was not a great day in the stock market. Yesterday, the S&P 500 dropped 4%, and the NASDAQ dropped 4.73%. Earnings report season is still coming out. That being said, the reason why I'm not covering some of the earnings that are affecting this, like Target, that dropped 25%, is because Target's not a tech company, and this is a tech podcast. Okay, so let's get into the hot topics in tech. So I'll start with some positive news. Andreessen Horowitz raises a $600 million venture fund for games. This is from VentureBeat. Having been investors in this space, I quote, having been investors in this space for more than a decade, it's clear to us that the industry has entered a new era, and there is no better time than now to build a fund focused on supporting the next generation of games builders, they said. The fund is based on the idea that games will play a pivotal role in defining how we socialize, play, and work over the next century. Over the past decade, games have undergone a radical transformation from simply being packaged entertainment to becoming online services that more closely resemble social networks and scale like consumer technology companies. End quote. So I find this interesting. Andreessen Horowitz, most of their raises they've been discussing have been revolved around crypto, but they have also talked about crypto gaming or blockchain gaming, play to earn, things like that. So I'm not sure if their gaming fund is going to be pure games like video games, iPhone games, mobile app games, or if it's going to be also related to their crypto bets or blockchain, but they're probably diversifying here, and these are going to be pure play Web2 standard games. I will say games rake in a ton of money. So I would say when it's cold or dark outside in the wintertime, I re-download some of the games that I enjoy. So for example, Gardenscapes is a game it's basically a Candy Crush clone that also involves landscaping a garden. It's, really satisfying. And I've probably spent at least $100 on that game since I started using it in 2020. I don't have it on my phone right now, but they've already made their money from me. So I do see games as highly addictive, and they do foster social interaction. So when I get together with my friends, or if I want to do an icebreaker, I love playing games. Monopoly, Cards Against Humanity, icebreakers, games, chess. Games are fun, and so I'm not surprised Andreessen is playing a bet on this. That being said, the games industry is known for not having high margins because there's so much manpower, woman power, people power required to build a successful game, and then the money you spend marketing the game. So I'm excited to see this money go into developing more games. There was a time that I wanted to be a video game environment designer back in college when I was doing 3D modeling. This is great for people who work in the games industry. There's going to be more opportunity to work at startups and not necessarily work at the big gaming companies. So congrats, Andreessen Horowitz or a16z, for raising this fund. And I always like to start off with good news. So next, FTX US is launching a zero commission stock trading app, or is launching zero commission stock trading within their app from the Block crypto. I quote, "The firm, which is owned by billionaire wunderkind Sam Bankman-Fried, announced on Thursday the launch of a stock trading feature that would make the firm one of the most prominent companies in the crypto space to make the move into regulated securities. According to a press release, FTX stocks will be offered through the FTX US mobile app. It plans to offer trading in hundreds of US listed companies and exchange-traded funds. Elsewhere, rivals like Coinbase have indicated that they do not intend to move into trading U.S. securities. In 2021, Binance, which is another crypto trading platform, shut down its stock-tied token trading operation." So, I end quote. FTX is basically doing the reverse of what Robinhood did. So Robinhood started out with stocks, and it moved into crypto. That ended up being a huge source of their growth last year, or in 2020. And I just shared yesterday that they're developing a new version of their crypto wallet. So this makes sense to me. The same people that trade stocks are the people that, trade stocks speculatively are the same people that trade crypto speculatively. It would be nice to be able to move a crypto directly into a stock, as opposed to cashing out your crypto and then buying a stock. I think this is a great idea, and I think it's going to be successful for them. And the more I feel like crypto has been so focused on crypto and as or an alternative instead of being an crypto and. This leads me into my next story. Jack Dorsey outlines Block's, formerly known as Square, bitcoin-centric future. No longer just a payments company. So I quote from the article, "Block executives no longer want the firm to be seen as a payments pure play. The San Francisco-based company held its first investor day in 5 years Wednesday, where the C-suite made its case to Wall Street that the Money app, along with its crypto and business streaming business, should be valued as an ecosystem instead. Calling Block a payments company is like calling Amazon a bookseller," CFO Amrita Ahuja told CNBC in a phone interview. "We've grown in so many different ways across multiple dimensions." So on Bitcoin, I quote, "As of the quarter ended in March, Bitcoin still only accounted for roughly 5% of Block's gross profits, but executives are betting on crypto as a secular trend in which Block could be well positioned. Dorsey described it as the open standard for global money transition and said it will allow Block's entire business to move faster globally. Block first started offering Bitcoin trading through the Cash App, and the company holds it on its balance sheet as an alternative to cash. Whew. The world's largest cryptocurrency is down more than 50% from its FI and has struggled to regain its value so far. Block's crypto business has expanded to a Bitcoin hardware wallet, a Bitcoin mining business, and an open source business called TBD for developers. On top of that, there's an independent Bitcoin-focused business within Block called Spiral. So, end quote. So Block is making a similar bet as FTX as well as Robinhood. Crypto is going to be an addition to the options that we have, not necessarily a replacement. And I think it's smart here that he is asking investors to look at Block as a new form of company and specifically said an ecosystem, which is I would say in the past like 10, 15 years, investors and venture capitalists like platforms, whereas Block, it's not a platform. You know, they have Tidal, which is a separate app from Square, which is a separate app from Cash App, and I'm sure they have several other apps. But so I haven't really seen what this ecosystem of Block looks like. I'm a Cash App user, and that does not make me feel connected to Square in any way, and it does not make me feel connected to Tidal. So for Wall Street to take Jack and Block's claim seriously to be seen as an ecosystem, I believe we need to see a little bit more integration between the platforms. As a Tidal customer, how does that affect my experience on Cash App? And how does that affect my experience on Square? That is not clear to me. If you're aware of this, definitely send me an email or a comment, on this video. My email is additionpod@gmail.com. If you work at Block and you know a little bit more about this, please share. Okay, so last news story, Meta freezes hiring for shopping team, Messenger Kids, and other products. And this is from The Verge. I quote, "Here's what dialing back looks like so far. Meta's leaders have in recent days started telling specific teams they won't be able to hire new engineers or receive internal transfers. It's a sign that those specific products don't make enough money or aren't strategically important enough to keep investing in, while Meta stock's price is down 43% this year. Product teams have already impacted by an engineering freeze include Facebook Dating and Gaming, Messenger Kids and the Commerce team, and the Remote Presence team created during the pandemic to build video and audio calling features to better compete with Zoom." So, I end quote. I would say this is good. People call Mark Zuckerberg a wartime CEO. And right now he is focusing on what is working and what the major profitable bets are. So right now he's focusing very much on the metaverse. He's focusing very much on Reels, the competitor to TikTok on Instagram. And yeah, he's letting go of the products that that aren't worth the time and effort. When your stock is doing great, you can afford to take a lot of bets, just to see if it can work, or just to create a competitor, just to have, just so your competitor is not dominating the market. When your stock is down 43%, and it's only May, so in less than half the year, you have to, look at your resources and how you're spending it, and two, consolidate your teams, create synergy, that corporate buzzword, as they say. So yeah, I would say this is probably good for Meta stock. That being said, Meta still needs to deliver on its new bets. Okay, so the career segment today, this is a quote that I have heard a few years ago, and I really like it. It's this idea of blooming where you are planted. So just a reminder that until you've left your job, you're still working there and you're still going to need these references. You want your team to have a positive impression of you as you move on with your career, because there's always going to be a possibility that you run into them again, that you work with them again, that they're in a hiring position at a company that you want to work at. So I always recommend to do the best you can every day. I actually have a fortune cookie stuck to my laptop. I'm going to read it. Be willing to give the extra effort that separates the winner from the one in second place. And for some people, they may say, oh, that you're doing too much, or you care too much about your job, you should just be slacking. Well, we are not the same. I like to work with integrity, and I do want to put in my best effort every day. Is every day perfect? No, but I am doing the best I can possibly do that day. Also, if you know that you are leaving, prepare now to leave the team in a better position than when you arrived. So document your process along the way. Think about what your succession or transition plan is going to be before you actually leave, to make sure your team is set up for success. And most importantly, build trust with your team. So you may not like them, but at least build trust with them. So that's the message today. Bloom where you're planted. And what I'm geeked out about this week, I went to a meditation yesterday and it was lovely. One of my friends hosted it in her apartment. I saw a lot of amazing, positive people, and it just made me feel like I want to be around more people like that. And I did feel, centered, reconnected in a way that I haven't been. I haven't necessarily been practicing any sort of religion or spirituality lately, besides the things that I do like vision boarding and manifesting and things like that. But in terms of meditation, that has not been happening. So if you want to try something new, check out a meditation class, breathwork class, yoga class. Just be careful that you're not getting roped into some weird scam or MLM. Keep your distance, set your boundaries, don't trust anybody. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm heading into the office, if you're wondering why I look so coiffed. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.